Namaste. In this recording, we are going to practice describing the weather in Hindi. And let's start with the word weather. We say mausam. Mausam is weather. And that can mean all types of weather. It can mean rain, snow, sunny days, cloudy days, tornadoes, hurricanes, rainbows in the sky. It can mean all kinds of weather. And again, the word we use is mausam. So, how do we ask in Hindi, how is the weather today? We say, Aaj mausam kaisa hai. Let's say it again. Aaj mausam kaisa hai. One more time. Aaj mausam kaisa hai. And let's break down those words. Aaj means today. Mausam, as you know, means weather. Kaisa is how. And the word hai means is. How is the weather today? So if we were to translate this question directly into English, it would say, today weather how is? Now that sounds funny, doesn't it? Today weather how is? In English we say, how is the weather today? But in Hindi it's today weather how is? And that's because, like a lot of languages, Hindi, the order of the words in Hindi is going to be different than the order of the words in English. And you'll find that as you study and grow into learning lots of other languages. So whether you study French or German or Spanish or Urdu or any other languages, the order of the words is going to be different than the order of the words in Hindi. So in Hindi we say Aaj mausam kaisa hai. One more time. Let's say it together. Aaj mausam kaisa hai. One more time, just to make sure we got it. Aaj mausam kaisa hai. Shabash, very good. Now, what if we want to say the weather is good or the weather is bad? Well, we have a couple of very easy words to describe that. The word acha. Acha means good. And kharaab means bad. So acha is good and kharaab is bad. Now, I know I have told you about tricky H's in Hindi. And tricky H's are where there's sometimes an H sound in the middle of a Hindi word, and it's kind of awkward and weird, but in Hindi it makes perfect sense. And it's really important that we pronounce those tricky H's in those Hindi words. And guess what, guys? The word kharaab is one of those tricky H words. Do you see the H after the K at the beginning of the word? Kharaab. So I'm not saying kharab, I'm saying kharaab. I'm not saying kharab, I'm saying kharaab. So do you hear me saying that h sound after the k at the beginning of the word? Kharaab. So it's really important that you practice not only knowing the words, but speaking them correctly. So acha is good, kharaab is bad. So how would we say the weather is good? Well, let's first take a look at some examples to identify if it's acha or kharaab before we get into talking about the full sentence. So, look at this picture. Would you say the weather is acha or kharaab? And remember, what does acha mean? Acha means good, kharaab means bad. So what do you think? Is this weather acha or kharaab? If you said acha, then shabash, you got it right. It's good weather today. Look at the sunny day and all the children playing in the playground. It's a nice day. Okay, take a look at this picture. What about this? Is the weather acha or kharaab? Well, those look like two big tornadoes, so what do you think? If you said Kharaab, then you are right. Very good. Kharaab, bad. What about this picture? Acha weather or Kharaab weather? This is Acha weather, right? Because look at what a beautiful day it is to have a picnic by the lake. It's a nice weather today. Acha. What about this one? Is the weather Acha or Kharaab? Well, looks like another nice day, doesn't it? So it's Acha. What about here? Look at all the bandars on the roller coaster. And what do you see here? Do you see the suraj, the sun shining brightly? So is this Acha weather or Kharaab weather? It's Acha weather. It's good weather. And what about here? Is this Acha weather or Kharaab weather? Well, we see rain and maybe some wind and people running to get out of it. So this doesn't look so good, does it? So this is Kharaab, bad weather. And what about this one? Well, this one is Kharaab also, right? This is also bad weather because look, it's raining and there's bijli, lightning, and probably antariksha bijli. So this does not look so good, right? Kharaab. All right, now that we've practiced Acha and Kharaab, let's put it together in a sentence. How do we say the weather is good today? How do we say that whole thing in Hindi? The weather is good today. We say, Aaj mausam acha hai. Say it with me. Aaj mausam acha hai. One more time. Aaj mausam acha hai. Now what about if we want to say the weather is bad? Aaj mausam kharaab hai. Aaj mausam kharaab hai. So let's say them both one more time. The weather is good. Aaj mausam acha hai. Now the weather is bad. Aaj mausam kharaab hai. So I want you to practice saying this 3 more times, and I'm going to wait right now. I want you to practice saying it 3 more times. Good job. Thank you for practicing that. It's important to practice and keep repeating it so that you can memorize it, okay? Now, let's practice asking and identifying is the weather good or bad? Is mausam acha hai ya mausam kharaab hai? And let's say the full sentence together, okay? So what is this one? Is this mausam acha or mausam kharaab? It's mausam acha, right? It's good weather. So the full sentence is, if you said aaj mausam acha hai, then you got it right. Good job. What about this one? Is this mausam acha or mausam kharaab? It's kharaab, right? So how do we say the whole sentence? It's bad weather today. Aaj mausam kharaab hai. Now look at this one. This one was the family having a picnic by the lake. Is the mausam acha or kharaab? It's acha, right? So let's say the full sentence. Aaj mausam acha hai. Aaj mausam acha hai. Next one, another nice day. Another. Aaj mausam acha hai. One more time. Aaj mausam acha hai. And looks like another nice day. Another nice day to go to an amusement park and go on a nice roller coaster. So again, aaj mausam acha hai. Aaj mausam acha hai. What about this one? Is this mausam acha or mausam kharaab? This is kharab, right? So we say आज मौसम खराब है. आज मौसम खराब है. And what about this last one? This is another kharab, right? आज मौसम खराब है. आज मौसम खराब है. Now, what about how to say hot and cold? Like we say, it's hot today, or it's cold today. How do we say hot and cold in Hindi? Well, hot, we say garmi. Garmi. What do we say? Garmi, shabash. And what about cold? We say thand. Thand. And thand is another one of those tricky H words. Do you hear me enunciating the H sound after the T? Thand. I'm not saying thund. I'm saying thand. Do you hear that H after the T? Thand. So please practice saying that. So hot is garmi, cold is thand. Hot is garmi, cold is thand. Hot is garmi, cold is thand. So now let's practice. Is this picture garmi or thand? Is it hot or cold? Well, it's hot, right? So it is. If you said garmi, you got it right. What about this one? Is this garmi or thand? Hot or cold? If you said garmi, you got it right. What about this one? Is this garmi or thand? Hot or cold? If you said thand, you got it right. And this one, hot or cold? If you said garmi, you got it right. And what about this one, hot or cold? Well, there's the bright sun and this guy's sweating, so this is hot, right? And is that garmi or thand? If you said garmi, you got it right. And what about this one? He looks like he's shivering and there's snowflakes falling from the sky. So is this garmi or thand? Hot or cold? If you said thand, you got it right. Now that you know how to say hot and cold, let's practice full sentences by saying it's hot today or it's cold today. So to say it's hot today, we have two ways we can say it. We can say aaj garmi hai. Today it is hot. Or we can say aaj mausam garmi hai. Today the weather is hot. So both ways are correct, and you can say it both ways. And the same goes for cold. It's cold today. We can say aaj thand hai. Or we can say aaj mausam thand hai. So let's try them again. To say it's hot today, we have two ways to say it. Aaj garmi hai, aaj mausam garmi hai. So notice in one we have the word mausam, and the other one we don't. Aaj garmi hai, aaj mausam garmi hai. For it's cold today, aaj thand hai or aaj mausam thand hai. Both ways are correct. So let's practice. It's hot today or it's cold today. What is this one? Is this garmi or thand? Well, this looks like it's garmi, right? Because of the hot sun and the pineapple is sweating. So aaj garmi hai or aaj mausam garmi hai. What about this one? Is this garmi or thand? It's garmi, right? So how do we say the full sentence? Aaj garmi hai or aaj mausam garmi hai. And what about this one? Is this garmi or thand? Well, this looks like it's cold, right? So it's thand. Aaj thand hai. Or we can say aaj mausam thand hai. And what about this one? Is it hot or is it cold? It's cold, right? Thand. So आज ठंड है or आज मौसम ठंड है. What about this one? Is this hot or cold? It's hot. So we say आज गर्मी है or आज मौसम गर्मी है. And this one? Well, this one looks hot too, right? Because of the blazing sun and the sweat coming down the man's forehead. So we can say आज गर्मी है or आज मौसम गर्मी है. And another hot one. Look at the hot sun. आज गर्मी है, आज मौसम गर्मी है. And this one? This looks cold, doesn't it? आज ठंड है or आज मौसम ठंड है. Now let's practice to say it's very hot today or it's very cold today. And now that you already know how to say it's hot today and it's cold today, it's super easy to add the word very. We just add one more word, and that word is bahoth. Bahoth. So for it's very hot today, we say आज बहुत गर्मी है. It's very hot today. आज बहुत गर्मी है. And what do you think how do you think we say it's very cold today? If you said आज बहुत ठंड है, then you are correct. Very good. So it's very hot today. आज बहुत गर्मी है. It's very cold today. आज बहुत ठंड है. Okay, so let's look at these same examples. Is it very hot today or very cold? Garmi or ठंड? It's garmi, right? So how do we say the whole sentence? It's very hot today. आज बहुत गर्मी है. आज बहुत गर्मी है. What about this one? Is it hot or cold? Garmi or ठंड? Well, it's garmi, right? So how do we say it's very hot today? आज बहुत गर्मी है. आज बहुत गर्मी है. And what about this one? Is it very hot today or very cold today? Well, this looks like a cold day, doesn't it? So it's ठंड. So how do we say it's very cold today? If you said आज बहुत ठंड है, then very good, you got it right. And what about this one? It's cold or is it hot today? It's cold, right? It's ठंड. So how do we say it's very cold today? आज बहुत ठंड है. आज बहुत ठंड है. And what about this one? Is it very hot or very cold? It's hot, right? Garmi. Garmi. So, आज बहुत, what do we say? आज बहुत गर्मी है. Shabash. And what about this one? Now you should know by now. How do we say it? Try it. Is it garmi or ठंड? Garmi, right? So how do we say it's very hot today? आज बहुत गर्मी है. And another one, say it loud, say it proud. You should know it by now. आज बहुत गर्मी है. And how do we say it's very cold today? Cold is ठंड, right? So how do we say it's very cold today? आज बहुत ठंड है. And very good job. So I want you to keep practicing this and listen to it and practice it, and you'll get better and better. See you in class.